Hello, everyone. This is the RobBrod Report, final one for the year 2020. And we have lots of things going on this weekend. It's the last week of the year. So this week we're going to be looking at the shows upcoming for the first weekend of 2021 and take a quick review back of everything that's happened uh, so far in 2020. You know, we were the joke was in December last year is that finally I would be able to see 2020, and now I'm happy to say that hindsight will be 2020. So anyway, this weekend coming up, January 1st, New Year's Day, Pro South is having a huge show in Piedmont, Alabama. There's going to be 6 title defenses, with 3 of those title defenses are titles held in other promotions. And Anarchy, Southern Honor, and New Era Wrestling are going to be having titles defended at that show. That is going to be a banger show. I can't help it. That's a joke that keeps writing itself. I'm going to play that into the ground as long as I can. So if you can't head over to Piedmont, Alabama to watch the show live, check out their YouTube streaming service and check out that show. And then on Saturday, January 2nd, a big Saturday. I've got 7 shows that I have found, starting off with Wrestling United in Franklin, Georgia. I will probably be attending that show unless I get any health news that I shouldn't go out, but I'm planning on going out to that show. Live Wire Wrestling in Augusta, Georgia will be having 2 shows. And so there's 2 different shows for Livewire. One is, check out their webpage on Facebook for details on that. Pro Wrestling Circuit in Morrow, Georgia. Excuse me. Renegade Championship Wrestling in Chatsworth, Georgia. KLT Promotions in Rome, Georgia. Victory Championship Wrestling will debut in a new building in Gadsden, Alabama. And from what I saw, that's also going to be 2 shows. Check out the poster now. And then the 7th and final show is New South Wrestling in Huntsville, Alabama. So that's all the shows that I have found coming up this weekend in the state of Georgia and close by in Alabama. TWE in Chattanooga is under restrictions from the state of Tennessee. So until they figure out that situation, they cannot run. If you know of any other promotions, please tag me, let me know. The RobBrod Report on Facebook or on Twitter at the RobBrod. Let me know. Also, you can like the reports on those 2 platforms. Also, GWH newsandnotes.blogspot.com. Check it out on there as well. Earlier today, I made a couple of videos for the nomination process for Match of the Year and Promo of the Year. Check out the Facebook 2020 GWH Awards and Nominations page for further details coming up on that. That's starting this coming Friday the 1st, and nomination process will run through January 7th. All right, and year in review. It was, the big thing, of course, COVID, and I just got flagged by Facebook for that, or maybe it was YouTube. I forget. That's whatever the tapped out guys came out, and then with uh, I don't want to say side stories because there were any other year there would be major stories of both the Black Lives Matter and the Speak Out, uh, not occurrences. This is where words fail me. They're definitely happenings. I'm sure I'll hear, what type of happenings they were. Keep it clean, folks. Those are major stories across the state of Georgia. Speak Out was marginally less than the Black Lives Matter, though it did, a lot of Speak Out did affect several people, on both on the victim and the perpetrator. So those were huge stories, but it pales in compared to the C virus. Hopefully that won't get me flagged saying C virus. But those are major stories across the state of Georgia, Southeast, and in the country in general and in the world. As far as actual wrestling goes, there was that huge gap in time between March and beginning of June when some shows started running. In the whole year, I have done 32 reports, show reports, I should say. And with this report makes 31 RobBrod reports, plus several other videos highlighting tournaments and other cause actions. The noise you hear in the background is my dogs running back and forth. During the year, I have witnessed four, when I was using the rating system, A matches. That's 4 A matches. First off was Southern Honor Wrestling number 16 back in January, which was the Joe Black and William Huckabee uh, fight. I was that was insane. If you have a chance if you haven't watched it yet, shame on you. You need to go back and check that out. And then the other three were all action wrestling shows. The show Action Shock. Uh, Actually, I should go with this first. Action Last Call, because it was first on the list. Eric Royal versus Shirt D. That was an A grade match, in my opinion. The Tonight in This Very Ring show, Angelus Lane versus Nolan Edward. That was definitely an A show. That was physically brutal, hard hitting action. But it was actually, I think, topped by the Action Shock show of J.D. Drake versus Nolan Edward. So those were my 4 A matches that I personally watched in the year. That doesn't mean there weren't other A matches out there. Those are only the ones that I personally saw. And of course, everyone has their own opinions on that, what they felt their best match might be. And if you go to the 2020 GWH 2020 nomination and awards Facebook page, you'll have the opportunity for match of the year. Again, that is promotions only submitting those matches. So other than that, it was an interesting time in 2020, to say the least. It's if there's such thing as a transition show, this was definitely a transition year, and it's if you didn't, you had to have been changed by this year in some way, and only you could control most of the changes. And so hopefully people changed for the better. A lot of people did. Austin Towers, Tyler Culpret, Hold My Beer Hansen, all went crazy during the time off period. And when everything started opening them up, they took off like a house on fire. Cyrus the Destroyer, his made his impression over the last half of the year. Uh, it is, the whole. It's hard to put in words. It really is. Well, other people find it easier than I do, but it is the ability to, have battle plans and then make adjustments on the fly. The battle, everyone has a plan in a fight until someone gets punched in the mouth. Well, not only did everyone get punched in the mouth, they got kicked in the nads too. And if you didn't have nads, you got kicked in the ovaries. So it was definitely a transition year. 2020 is 2021. It's going to be starting out transition wise. New administration, new policies, new procedures. We just don't know how all that will play out, especially in the short term. Long term, especially later year, I think more things will come back to normal, whether you get the vaccine or don't. That's a question for you personally. I will not say one way or the other how I should think you should go, because that is a deeply personal opinion. Because working in my job, I know for a fact that 50% of all Americans don't even get the flu shot. So I'm going to probably at least 50% of people probably won't even get the vaccine shot. It is what it is. Take it for what it is, but just be careful out there. But anyway, great weekend of action coming up. If you go out, be safe, be careful, social distance where possible, wear a mask if possible. Let you know. So I know people who wear masks and still have gotten COVID, so it's not foolproof. It has never been proclaimed to be foolproof, but it's just something to help with protecting yourself and others. So anyway, take care out there. Love you lots. TTFN.